What's up, guys? I know I've been gone for a very long time, but welcome back to Celebrate Your Beauty. My name is Samantha, and I hope you guys are doing well. So, many of you knew I had a baby, I had my rainbow baby. And today in my video, I'm just going to talk about getting back to my life after having a baby after a loss and also mental health. So let's get right into it. So today I'm just going to be doing my makeup, but I'm going to also be talking about my birth experience and having a baby after a loss and getting my life back in order after that. So many of you know in 2020, I did experience a miscarriage due to cervical incompetence. I was told that my cervix was not able to hold my baby, and that is the reason why I was in that predicament, and that's why I lost her. However, in January of 2021, I found out I was pregnant with my rainbow baby. Now, this brought a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, and honestly, I didn't know how I was going to cope with this situation. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to handle it. I was really, really afraid. But during that time, I was able to really focus on my faith, and I was able to recommit my life to Christ. So that actually helped me through my entire experience being pregnant again and having another child. So at 14 weeks, I was scheduled to have a cervical cerclage. Now, this is a stitching that holds your cervix together so that you will not experience a miscarriage based on your cervix being closed by a little bit of a stitch. So at 14 weeks, I had that cervical cerclage inserted into my cervix in order to help with my cervical incompetence. So after having my cervical cerclage inserted, I continued to go through my pregnancy. Everything went well. And at 36 weeks, I had my cervical cerclage removed. It was a success. My baby stayed. However, crazy part about all of this is I got COVID. I got COVID at 36 weeks. And I was hospitalized due to not being able to breathe. It was really traumatic for me. I had horrible nausea, so I couldn't eat, and I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink water, and I was throwing up a lot. That caused me to lose a lot of weight, and it caused my baby to also lose a lot of weight. So I was in hospital for like 2 weeks. It was a really crazy experience. However, with the nurses' help and all of the doctors, I was able to be discharged out of the hospital at 38 weeks. And I was still pregnant. I got my cervical cerclage removed during that time, and then I went home. So when I went home, it was really painful. My cervix were hurting due to not being able to eat, and then obviously having that thing removed, and I lost a lot of weight. So it was time to meet a baby. It was time to push myself to get up and get out and continue to nest and stuff like that. So anyways, at 39 weeks, I was induced at the hospital, and it was pretty rough. The labor started in the afternoon around 12 o'clock, and I started to labor. While laboring, Mr. just didn't want to come. It was hard. I mean, he didn't want to come. The baby his heart rate started to drop, and it was really rough. And I'm like worried because it's like, okay, what's happening? Then the doctors are like, you know what, we're gonna have to have a emergency cesarean. So I'm like, what? So I look at my husband and we're like, okay, whatever you guys need to do to get this baby out, you guys do it. So I had a cesarean. I had an emergency cesarean, and I did not get to hold my baby at first because I was put under due to not being able to get my meds in my spine fast enough. So I was put under, and I woke up after he was born, I was a little groggy, so I couldn't hold him, I think maybe until like maybe 3 or 4 hours after he was born. But nevertheless, my son was born. He was born 5 pounds, 5 ounces, I believe, or 5.7 ounces. He was really, really tiny. He was really, really small. But all I could care about was that he was here. It was the most craziest experience I've ever been through. It was very traumatic for me because while I was having labor, I was being rushed into the operating room to have my cesarean. So after birth, it was dealing with this cut now. So having a cesarean, it was really painful. The cut was very painful the first couple of days. Standing up, sitting down, sleeping was really rough. However, I was able to get through it. I did minimal pain meds, and I'm really proud of myself because I didn't take a lot of medication because I didn't want to drug my baby, seeing that I had to breastfeed. All right, so now breastfeeding, we started with breastfeeding. Breastfeeding was very, very interesting because now I have this teeny tiny baby. He was much smaller than my first son, and I had to find ways to breastfeed him. But thankfully, a good friend got me a breastfeeding pillow, and that really helped with breastfeeding. I was only able to breastfeed him in the football position. So that's where you have to turn your baby backwards instead of sideways. And I was able to breastfeed him for about 2 months. And after breastfeeding him for 2 months, my milk supply got extremely low. And he wasn't putting on any weight. So we had to get him on formula. And it was great, the first couple of weeks until his formula was recalled. Yeah, thank you, Similac. Always being recalled for nonsense. But thank God we were able to find a really good Dutch brand called Nutrilon. And that was how we were able to give him formula. And it was really rough, in the first couple of weeks because I was a little scared, hearing that this milk was being recalled. So we were able to get him on the Nutrilon, and it worked. He started to put on weight. He started to flourish and thrive, and I was happy again. But then the postpartum depression started. So the postpartum depression really started around January after the whole COVID scare of the entire island. I was in quarantine with my baby, and I just started to be really, really sad because a lot of stuff was happening. I wasn't able to go outside. I wasn't getting free time alone due to that. My husband also had COVID, so I wasn't able to have a little bit of time to myself, and it really started to work on me. So after that, my hair starts to fall out. Started having postpartum hair loss and not being able to breastfeed, and it was just a lot of things were just happening at the same time. So after that started to subside, my husband was able to get over his COVID, and I was also able to get over the hardest parts of being a mom, just waking up at night. And I went back to work, and I started to feel so much better. I changed the color of my hair. I started to do my nails again. I started to do my makeup again, and I just slowly started to feel better. So just taking care of yourself really helps. It helped me a lot. It helped me to feel better. It helped me to cope with this new part of my life. I'm now a mom of 2. I'm a wife. I'm a homemaker. I work. There's so much things that actually helps me get over it. And the number one thing was prayer. I prayed a lot. I seek God a lot. I read my Bible, and I just basically got closer to God. And that just with saying, it helped me get through a lot. It helped me get through the pregnancy. It helped me get through the cervical cerclage. It helped me get through COVID. It helped me get through this new part of life, being a mom again. And yes, I've always been a mom, been a mom since I was 21 years old. But being a mom of 2, having to share yourself, being a wife, and having to balance being a working mom and being a working wife, finding the balance to spend time with your family, to also have time alone to do things that you like. I really had to find a balance, and I was struggling a really long time with that. But I was able to find a middle ground. I was able to find time for myself, to find time for God, to find time for my family, and, being motivated and, just taking care of my mental health. And I really hope that you took something from my video and that it was able to motivate you to also find time for yourself, find time to take care of yourself. Because if you're not good, if you're not okay, if your mental health is falling apart after having a child or after any traumatic situation in your life, I hope that this video would give you motivation to know that you're not alone. You're not alone. All my moms out there who have had cervical incompetence, you're not alone as well. The cervical cerclage really helped me. I was on bed rest for majority of my pregnancy. I was not able to work. I work from home, and I was able to get through it that way. And then, just faith. Just faith in Christ, just knowing that he was there with me through this entire situation. Good support system, my husband, my family, they were there for me. And just changing the way you think as well, trying your best to remain positive, to look at the positive things in life, to find hope and to find joy in times of turmoil. Like even in that time of the year, the COVID was pretty bad, and even though it was in the back of my mind, I did not let it bother me the way that it did in 2020. I was able to handle it. I was able to move forward, and I was able to walk through my pregnancy and enjoy my pregnancy. I was able to have my gender reveal, and I did a little photo shoot, a maternity shoot. I really took time to enjoy it and enjoy time with my family. After a loss, it's hard to do that because in the back of your mind, you're like, what if I lose this child as well? But I didn't, and you can too. And just this shows that anybody is able to do so. And having a baby after a loss is hard, but you can do it. I really hope you guys enjoy my video. Please leave a comment below if you did, and any recommendations on videos that you would like to see, or anything else that I can talk about that maybe I've been through. Please let me know. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.